Today, this video is going to show you a few techniques. We're going to be working with text to reinforce some of the typography terms we've been using in class, and you're going to learn to animate text using text warping. I'm going to use my Film and Video tab again. I'm going to use the one that is 960 by 720. Call it Text Warp Animation, and then hit Create. Yours may or may not come up with the timeline, so I'm going to get rid of that just so we're on the same page. I'm going to use the type tool. Up here, I've got it set at the biggest type possible, and I'm going to type Dawson Eagles. You'll notice that it's kind of running up on each other because I've been messing with the character some. So I'm gonna fix some of those things and also make it center aligned. We talked about alignment, left align, center align, right align. There's center align. I'm going to hold my control key down and move the text back to the center. That pink line indicates it's in the center. And I'm going to continue to work on a few things. Up here, yours would say character. Mine doesn't have it up there. You can also get to it by going Window, Character. That opens up this character panel. I'd like the text to be stretched out, and I'd like some space between the lines. So right here, if I hover over it, that's vertical scale. That makes it taller. This one is leading. That's going to add some more space between the lines. I'm going to do that. Get some more space. There we go. So I'm just scrubbing to the right to do that. I'm going to stretch out the characters a little bit and do a little bit of tracking. Remember, kerning would just be among two letters. And then I'm also going to create a little bit more vertical scale. Actually, I'm going to shrink it back down a little bit. Adjust the leading a little bit. There we go. So you can play with those things and you see the letters either spread out or get closer together or further apart. Once I'm done and I have it the way I like it, it's kind of centered and easy to read. If you don't like it, you can always go back and adjust some of those things a little bit more, like maybe some tighter spacing and the letters doing the tracking. There we go. Notice all the letters are selected for the tracking. Okay. So now we're going to go to Window, Timeline, and I'm going to choose Create Video Timeline. I'm going to pop open the properties. This time, since we're working with text, we don't just have, this was called Position before, now it's Transform, Opacity, Style, and Text Warp. We're going to deal with the Text Warp for now. So I'm going to turn on I'm going to toggle on and enable the keyframes, and a keyframe has appeared, but I haven't warped the text at all yet. Up here in my text options, looking up here at the top of my screen, if I click on this icon, that gives me text warping. I'm going to choose flag, and it has it at +50. That looks cool. Now I'm going to move my playhead to 2.5 seconds. And then I'm going to go back into the warp. This time, I'm going to move it to 0 and click OK. Puts it back in the center. And then I'm going to put it at the end. I'm going to go back to text warp after I've moved my playhead to the end. I'm still on flag, and this time I'm going to do -50. Remember, the other one was at +50. And click OK. When I rewind and hit play, it works a little bit slow. So now I'm going to show you how to make a few adjustments and make this play more than once, so it makes it a little bit more interesting because it's so slow it's a little bit boring. First, I can actually click and drag these keyframes so I can line it up, and I can say put that keyframe at like 1 second, and then I'm going to put the playhead at 2, and then I'm going to drag this keyframe over here. And now I want it to go from this flag to the center and then back to the other. But now I want it to go back to the center. What I can do is I can add a keyframe. I can go back and copy this center keyframe where it was in the center. Go to copy, and I'm going to click on this keyframe, and I'm going to right click and paste. Okay, so now it goes from plus 50 to 0, minus 50 to 0. And now I'm going to go back to 4, and I'm going to do plus 50 again. So I'm going to put in a keyframe. And remember, this was plus 50, the first one. So I'm going to do copy. You might have to write these numbers down so you can remember them. Then I'm going to right click and paste. So when I scrub, it's plus 50, 0, minus 50, 0, plus 50. And now I think it makes sense for it to go back to 0. So I'm going to scrub to the end, add another keyframe. This one here, I believe, is the 0. I'm going to copy. And paste it on there. Yep. So when I scrub back and forth, so when I rewind, I can hit play. And now it actually waves like a flag. And then you're done. You can do your save as a PSD, and then you can do your save as export, save for web, and save it as a GIF. Thank you for joining. That's text warping.